Okay, let's just jump right into this. I want you to picture the scene. Imagine the sweeping, sun-drenched coast of Lebanon near the ancient city of Sidon. Now, we're going to descend from that bright Mediterranean light straight into the cool, pitch-black darkness of a rock-hewn tomb. In this explainer, we're going on a bit of a historical deep dive to uncover some seriously mind-blowing ancient ingenuity. We're talking about ancient Phoenician craftsmen back in the 5th century BC. They were performing feats of mechanical engineering inside the human mouth without a single modern tool that honestly rival the dentistry we have today. So just imagine the sheer scale of what archaeologists found when they finally broke into this space. Resting there completely undisturbed for, well, about 2,500 years, sat this massive sarcophagus. It was carved out of this beautiful Parian marble, and the lid itself was just a total masterpiece. It had this incredibly detailed carved head, a guy with wide-set eyes, curly red hair, and this massive, just absolutely determined chin. Basically, he looked exactly like the kind of formidable, towering guy you'd expect to find buried inside. But the really crucial point here is what, or actually scratch that, who was inside. When the American School of Oriental Research finally opened this sarcophagus back in 1901, they found a remarkably preserved skeleton of a really massive guy. A veritable giant for sure, and definitely someone of high rank. But here's the catch. This giant was suffering from a very human, very familiar problem. Pyorrhea. It's a severe gum disease that basically eats away at the jawbone and leaves your teeth incredibly loose. Now, we all know the dread of a modern dentist visit, right? So just imagine this giant battling that exact same agonizing pain over 2 millennia ago. How on earth did he treat it without any modern tools? To really appreciate what we found in this guy's jaw, we need to trace the evolution of ancient dentistry. If we rewind to the 17th century BC in Egypt, dentistry was purely therapeutic. They used potions and prescriptions, basically treating the mouth, but with zero mechanical fixes. Then by the 7th century BC, the Etruscans in Italy started using gold bands to replace lost teeth. But it was the Phoenicians, right around the 5th century BC, who engineered a totally functional retentive prosthesis. Essentially, a mechanical way to save existing, diseased teeth from falling out. And this perfectly captures a phrase I love from researchers Scott and Turner, writing history with teeth. The Phoenicians really took dentistry completely out of the realm of simple extractions or, just praying and applying medical poultices, and they transformed it into a highly sophisticated mechanical art. They literally left a tangible legacy of their engineering genius written directly into the bones of their people. Let's look at our first major piece of evidence. This is known as the Gaillardot Specimen, and it was discovered in a necropolis in Sidon back in 1862. It is an absolute stunner of an artifact. What you're looking at is an ancient dental appliance, where natural teeth are tightly united with gold wire. But get this, researchers realized that 2 of the substitute ivory incisors actually seem to belong to another person, or they were custom carved to replace lost teeth. We're talking about a super early form of human dental transplantation. Let's break down the actual mechanics of how they pulled this off. The bridging technique they used is brilliant. These craftsmen took incredibly thin gold wire and laced together 4 incisors and 2 canines. They bound those substitute teeth super tight right between the natural anchor teeth. It's literally one of the earliest known examples of mechanical fixed bridgework. Just imagine the steady hands and the exact understanding of tension you'd need to create this using nothing but raw gold wire. But as amazing as the Gaillardot specimen is, I really want to pivot to what I think is the ultimate technological marvel of this whole era, the Ford Mandible. This is the jawbone of our 5th century BC giant. It's named after Dr. and Mrs. Ford, who helped preserve it, and it represents a massive, game-changing leap from just replacing missing teeth to proactively saving diseased ones. Take a really close look at the high detail preservation here. You can clearly see 6 of the lower front teeth that were literally about to fall out from disease, firmly bound together. And they aren't just tied with a piece of string. They are laced together with a shimmering, perfectly preserved 24-gauge pure gold wire. The whole setup weighs barely over 2 grams. It's essentially a breathtaking piece of functional medical jewelry. Okay, let's dive right into the microscopic mechanics of how they did this, because it's wild. The dentist didn't just wrap the wire randomly. Step 1, they took 2 complete turns of the gold wire around the left canine. Step 2, they doubled back and created a highly secure knot. And yes, this ancient dentist was literally tying a sailor's bowline on a bite knot right inside the patient's mouth. Step 3, From that knot, they wove the wire in and out in a continuous counterclockwise direction through the gaps between the teeth. Notice how this intricate design totally isolates the knot from the continuous weaving. The wire dipped below the gum line and then rose back up near the top, effectively bracing every single tooth for almost half its length. They essentially built a continuous, rigid splint out of one single length of wire. It is an absolute masterpiece of retentive prosthesis, literally designed to keep weakened natural body parts in place. And here is where the story gets really incredible. Look at how closely that gold wire adapts right at the gum line. You might be wondering, hey, was this just some burial ornament they put on a corpse to make it look good? The answer is a definitive no. When researchers looked closer, they found heavy salivary deposits, calculus, overlapping the gold wire, which proves something so profoundly human. This giant actually lived, ate, and chewed his food with this highly durable mechanical brace in his mouth for a long time before he died. It gave a man his dignity back. So the big takeaway when we compare the Egyptian therapeutic approach to this Phoenician mechanical art is all about practical application. The Egyptians were super smart. They recorded extensive medical knowledge and remedies. But the Phoenicians, they took that foundational medical knowledge, combined it with their absolute mastery of working raw materials like gold and ivory, and elevated the whole thing into a highly functional aesthetic art form. They mastered the mechanics of the human body. And the best part is, the Phoenicians weren't just keeping this to themselves. They were the master navigators of the ancient world. Their massive trade networks across the Mediterranean basically bridged Egypt, Greece, and Italy. Through all this constant seafaring commerce, they absorbed the medical knowledge of their neighbors, refined it into the advanced mechanical tech we just saw, and then traded those techniques across the known world. We actually have solid proof of this widespread influence with the famous Kul Oba tomb pottery. Deep in a tomb belonging to a Scythian king, which is far, far from the Lebanese coast, archaeologists found pottery depicting a ruler getting a dental operation. It shows that the fame of these mechanical dental techniques had spread like wildfire, most likely carried on the ships of Phoenician traders. When we look back at all this ingenuity today, it is just nothing short of astounding. These ancient craftsmen didn't have modern drills, no x-rays, no sterile surgical suites. Yet armed with just a deep understanding of mechanics, some fine gold wire, and immense skill, they engineered a true gift to the world. They pioneered a kind of healthcare that preserved human dignity, giving a giant his bite back, and setting a standard that still inspires dentists today. It really leaves us with a profound realization. We only know about this brilliant Phoenician dental art because a few select tombs were perfectly preserved. It really makes you wonder, if our ancestors were engineering such microscopic, functional marvels 2,500 years ago, what other lost technologies are still waiting to be unearthed in the dark? Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.